Okay. Okay. So guys, I'll give you all time till 6:15. Complete these 5 questions. Answer these 5 questions before 6:15. Let's start discussing at 6:15. Progress is doing it. Okay. Those who are done, raise their hands up so I know you're done. Yes, I Jatin. We have not finalized it yet. Once it's finalized, I'll return. Walaikum Assalam. We'll have a minute more remaining. Those who are done answering the questions, raise your hands up so when we're done. Okay, time up. Let's start discussing. So those who are writing the answers still, you can pause for a moment. Let's discuss the questions and you can mark your answers. Okay, let's start. You need to find the details about tulips for a school magazine. Write down the steps you would follow to do so. Okay, I'll give you a hint. This question is regarding the your grade 11 third lesson. Tell me if you don't know something. Let's say I'm giving you to do a research and you don't know about that something. Where will you go and search this first of all? You're supposed to do a research. You don't have the data. Where are you going to go and search it for? Exactly. You'll go and search it most probably in Google. Google is actually what type of application? Now, for example, if you take Chrome, it's a browser. If you take Excel, it's a spreadsheet application. If you take Facebook, it's social media. Likewise, Google is a what type of application? Um, don't call it as website. Yes, Google is actually called as a search engine, right? It's called a search engine. So in this question, what they're asking is indirectly they're asking from you how you can use a search engine. That's what indirectly they're asking here. So in answering this question, what you're going to do is you can mention something like this. Using your browser, access a search engine, a search engine such as Google, and search about tulips there. You can phrase your answer in any way. You'll be getting your marks if you had mentioned this word called search engine in your answer. Okay. To use a search engine. Likewise, if you had mentioned search engine, you would be getting your marks. If you had without mentioning search engine, if you had just mentioned Google only, again, it depends on whether you will get marks or not. Be a bit always precise. So it's better if you can mention search engine such as Google. Okay. The main keyword here is search engine. What is the difference between search engine and web browser? What is the connection between search engine and web browser? First of all, you tell me that, then I tell you the difference. You tell me what is the connection between a search engine and a browser, then I'll tell you the difference. Search engine and a browser. Are there any similarities between a search engine and browser? Use any search engine like Yahoo, Google, and type the key phrase, and then all the details will be found. Correct. As long as your answer has a keyword called search, you get the marks. Can't be right as Google Chrome. Is Google Chrome a search engine? For example, for browser, I have here Google Chrome. Example for search engine I have here as Google. Are both of them the same? Is Google and Google Chrome the same? What do you think? Yes or no? If you take Google and if you take Google Chrome, are they the same? No. Keep in your mind, if you take Google Chrome, which is a browser, this is actually an application. Browser is actually a application. It's a software, or you can call it a software. But if you take Google, is Google actually application or software? What is Google actually here? What is Yahoo actually here? It's actually a website, right? Just like how you might go to your browser and type master.org, just like you're accessing this website called master.it,
Similarly, we'll be going and accessing the website called Google. So technically speaking, Google is actually a type of website. It's not a type of application. So a search engine runs on a browser. Without a browser, can we have a search engine? Can we access search engine? Without a browser, can we use a search engine? No. Keep in your mind, no, because search engine is basically a type of website, right? When we were learning about the fifth lesson, we learned different types of website. We have e-commerce website, we have learning management websites, we have search engine as a type of website, we have news website. These all are different types of website. Okay, so keep in your mind, Google is actually a type of website, and Google Chrome is actually a type of application. Okay, it's an example for application. It's an application. Can we have a clear between those two now? The internet app, is there a web browser? Is the application called yeah, inside your phones? Yes, that's a web browser, correct. Okay, so if you had mentioned about Google Chrome, or if you had mentioned about browser, that's not the correct answer. Okay, your correct answer has a keyword called search engine. Isn't that in web browser we have to enter the URL, and in search engine we can use any keywords? In the web browser we have to enter the URL, and in search engine we can use any keywords. Yeah, correct. Are they talking about the tulip flower? I don't know. But sir, we get information from Chrome also. That is because there is a search engine connected. Now, for example, this is a browser, right? In the browser, what do you call this blue color thing which you have here in the top? What do you call this section as? What do you call this section as? Sarah, correct? Anna, yes. Ashifa, correct? What do you call this section which has circle pink color? Only two answers are correct. That's all wrong. Umair, correct. Nabiha, correct. It's called the address bar, not search bar. It's called the address bar. Okay. In a browser, what we have there is this is called an address bar. Okay. In the address bar, if you enter URL, it will directly take you to a specific web application. It will take you to a website, because if you take a browser, the browser is expecting you to enter URL. If you enter URL, it will take you to that respective website. But if you notice, in majority of the browsers, actually all of the browsers which you all are using, right? All of the browsers you all are using, not only URL, you all can enter keywords as well. Now, for example, let's say I go and enter the keyword here called tulip. Now, is this a URL? Have I entered a URL here? Have I entered a URL here at the moment? No. But if I go and click on enter in my keyboard, automatically it's going to Google and searching this. The reason is because if you go to your browser settings, you will be having option here called as see address bar and search. If I go and click on this, you have something called search engine used in the address bar. Can you see? So what have in the 90%, not all the browsers you all are using, okay? All the browsers you all are using, there is a search engine connected to your address bar. So if you type a URL, it will directly take you to the URL. But if you don't type a URL, if you type just keywords, it will use this search engine and give you the respective results. Now in my laptop, I went and typed you tulip earlier. Now, when I typed tulip earlier, to which search engine did it take me? Which search engine was used? Early in this address bar, I typed tulip, right? Which search engine was used that time? Yes. If you all notice, it went through Google. See, through Google, it showed me the result. Now I'm going to do from here, I'm going to modify from Google to I'm going to make this Yahoo. Okay, front of you all, like you saw, I changed it to Yahoo. Now I'm going to do the same thing in the address bar again. I'm going to go and type tulip here and click on enter.
Wait, I have to save this. Um, right. Same thing I did. I went to the address bar and typed Tulip. Now, what search engine was used? Wait, it's still loading. Still loading. Why is the logo not visible here? Doesn't this bug have a logo? But you can look at the URL and figure it out. What is the search engine currently used? Here I've actually used Yahoo. Okay. Now if I go for my browser settings and change this to Bing, okay, I change this to Bing. Again, I come to a new tab. I type the same thing called Tulip. Click on enter. Now it's using a different browser search engine. So keep in your mind when you go and type in that address bar some random stuffs. If it is taking you to a search engine, that is not it's not the browser who is taking you. It is a search engine who is taking you. So if I like, no, you can't off the search engine here. But if there was option off it, okay, if there was option where you can off it, then definitely you will be getting an error here. Why? Error will be like this is not a URL. Because normally if you take a browser, in the address bar, you are allowed to type only a URL. Okay. The reason you can type keywords and access the website is because all the browsers have a search engine like this connected. Is that clear all of you? Why isn't Yahoo mostly not used? Because Google is very, very updated comparatively. Is Bing.com a website? Google.com, Bing.com, Yahoo.com, all they are a type of website called a search engine. Again, I tell you, search engine is basically a type of website. So example of that is Google, Yahoo, and Bing. We have more, but these are 3 examples. All of you are clear? Got it? So if your answer has this keyword called search engine, put 2 marks there. If you have any other questions related, drop in the chat. I'll answer. Farzana wants to add 2 integers 15 and 16. Okay, so she wants to add 15 and 16, it seems. And then multiply the answer. So this answer she wants to multiply by 45 to the power 4. To the power 4. She has typed the numbers in a worksheet of a spreadsheet software. What is the formula she should write in cell F2 to obtain the answer? F2. Okay. In this question, there's a small, I mean, it's not a mistake, but in this question, they have they mentioned to use only cell address? When we write in the formula, in this question, have they mentioned only to use cell address? No, they have not mentioned. So because they have not mentioned, even if you write it like this, it's correct. But let me just try the answer using the cell address. Okay, let me just try the answer using cell address. Now they are saying they want to first of all add 2 integers. Integers means whole numbers called 15 and 16. Now tell me, number 15 is there in which cell address? A cell address is formed using the column it's there and the row it's there. So based on that, tell me number 15 is there inside which cell address? See the column it is there in and row it is there in. Yes, number 15 is there in a cell address called as A2. It's there in the A2 cell. And then they're saying 2 into the 15 and 16. No, number 16 is there in which cell address? What is the cell address for number 16? Yes, number 16 is there in B2. And then they have mentioned, and then they multiply the answer by 45 to the power 4. So when they say multiply the answer by 45 to the power 4, what they're meaning is we have to find first of all, we'll find the addition of both of them. Okay. So that's why I'm going to put a brackets for his. The reason I put the brackets is because they have mentioned here to multiply the answer by 45 to the power 4. So I put in the brackets so that I have the answer of A2 plus B2. The answer of this, I'm going to multiply by 45 to the power 4. Now, when you're writing formulas, now you call it formulas, right? When you're writing formula, the symbol we use to represent powers, you can see it's 45 to the power 4, no? The symbol we use to represent power
is the symbol called as exponential. This symbol is called as exponential symbol. Now, tell me first of all, 45 is there in which cell address? If we didn't put bracket, is it wrong? Yes, it is wrong. I'll tell you why is it wrong in a while. But before that, tell me 45 is there in which cell address? Yes, you can see 45 is there in cell address C2. And then number 4 is there in which cell address? Can't we use sum A2 to B2? I'll answer that question in a while. Wait. Number 4 is there in which cell address? Number 4 is there in the D2 cell. So your answer is going to be equals A2 plus B2 in brackets into C2 to the power D2. Okay, this symbol is called exponential. It represents powers. Now, let me answer these two questions which you all asked. The first one, someone one of you all asked, is it wrong if I mention it as sub? Is this question related to HTML? The Roman number 7. Is this question related to HTML? No. It is related to spreadsheet. You have that sub and sub in HTML. Okay, not in spreadsheets. First thing. Let me ask this question about brackets. One of you all said, is it important to put the brackets? Now, let's say I write the same answer without brackets, like this. If I write the same answer without brackets, tell me, when I'm processing, when I'm doing the calculations, you all know we follow the BEDMAS order in spreadsheet. BEDMAS is where we focus on the brackets first, then exponential, then division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. These are the order of operation. So based on that, first of all, we'll find 45 to the power 4. Done. Perfect. Okay. After exponential is done, the next one is multiplication. So 45, B2 into 45 to the power 4. Now, when you read this question, are they saying we have to multiply 16 by 45 to the power 4? Or are they mentioning we have to multiply the answer by 45 to the power 4? 16 or answer? Read that Roman number 7 and tell me. You have to multiply by 45 to the power 4. Okay. 16 or the answer? Exactly. They have mentioned to multiply the answer. Answer of what? The addition of the two integers, 15 and 16. So first of all, you have to add 15 and 16. That is why I put the brackets here. So once the addition is done, the answer we get is that this only has to be multiplied by C2 to the power D2. Right? Now, if you don't put the brackets, what will happen is it will multiply by B2, not by A2 plus B2. Okay. That is why if you don't put the brackets, your answer is wrong. Is that clear? Those who asked about the brackets for the answer. If I put C2 to the power 4 instead of C2 to the power D, is it correct? I already answered that. This question has not mentioned clearly to use only cell address. So if you mention your answer like this or mix, it is not a problem. Cool. Second, a person asked me, can you use the sum function here? One of you asked me, can we use the sum like this? My answer is, go to Google and search for English comprehension courses. In English comprehension courses, they will tell you how to read a paragraph and understand the meaning. Read this paragraph again fully and tell me, are they asking us to add the 15, 16, 45, and 4? Are they asking us to add these four values together? Is that the question? No. We are supposed to add 15 and 16 only. The answer we are supposed to multiply by 45 to the power 4. Right? So make sure always in questions you read the question properly
don't just unwantedly lose marks for an easy question, right? So for this question, you can write the answer in both the ways. If you want, you can write the answer like this using cell address. If you want, you can write the answer like this using numbers, or you can mix and write as well, because the question has not clearly mentioned to use cell address only. So both of these answers are correct. Is that clear? Aisha, yes. So if you got your answer, either one of the answers, if you got it correct, put 2 marks. Equal sum A2 to B2 into C2 to the power D2. That is correct. Any other questions anyone has? Do you have any questions up in the chat? Next. Name the view of the presentation software you studied, which enables you to view all the slides out on the screen. Okay. If you take a presentation software, right? Normally how it will happen is it will show you here the workspace, which means it will show you one slide here, and you can start decorating that slide, entering content. In the left side, you have something called slide pane, and it will show you all the slides that are there in this presentation. Okay. Now, this is one view. This is called the normal view, no? Right? There is another view like this, where you can see all the slides that is there in this presentation. What do you call this view as? Where you can see all the views. Aftab correct. Nabiha correct. Lukman correct. Simha correct. Azam correct. Yes, it's called the slide sorter view. Okay, slide sorter view. So answer here is going to be slide sorter. If you integrate in 8th lesson, the presentation software, you will notice in the bottom of the screen, you have that tool to go and select the reading mode, blah, blah, blah. There's the option called slide sorter mode. So if you go and click on the slide sorter view, it will show you like this, all the slides, and you can rearrange the order as well. You can tell this to come second, this to come first, this to come third, this to come fourth. You can reorder it. Slide view is not correct, wrong. It should be exactly slide sorter. There is no other answers for this. It should be correctly slide sorter. So if your answer is correct, put 2 marks there. Anyone having any other questions there? This is the oral question. No, it's a provincial question, central province paper. Second term. Do you know from where to get the paper class recording? I uploaded the YouTube. I uploaded the channel, the community as well. Just join. I'll send a community link in channel. Just sorry, the chat. Just make sure they're in the community. So you'll be getting the recording from there as well. Right. Next. A grocery shop owner has decided. Is it wrong when we drew it without writing the name? Yes, it is wrong. Because you'll always give the answer, not the drawing. A grocery shop owner has decided to buy a new printer for his business. If you ask your advice on buying a new printer, explain what is better from a laser printer, inkjet printer, and dot matrix printer. Okay, we have a grocery shop owner. Tell me, Shimaha actually no, because Maharib is early. Most of them prayed before joining, so I'll not be giving the time in the class. And I'll be giving enough time to do the next question, so that time you can go and play. Anyways, keeping that thing aside, tell me, when you're answering this question, I'll give you 2 options. Should you answer this question thinking whether laser printer is better, inkjet printer is better, dot matrix printer is better? Out of these 3 printers, which printer is better? Should you think that perspective, that is our perspective number 1? Or should you think what is the most suitable printer out of the 3 for the grocery owner? Perspective number 2. Which perspective should you think? Out of these 3 printers, what is the best printer? Or for the grocery owner, what is the best printer? Perspective 1 or perspective 2? Exactly. When you're doing these questions, read the question properly. You're here, if you read this properly, he's asking you your advice to buy a new printer. Who? The grocery shop owner. Tell me, what do you think would be a purpose for a grocery shop owner to buy a printer? If he wants a printer, he wants to print mainly what? What do you think? Yes, as a grocery shop owner, his main perspective of printing might be to print bills. Okay. If you want to print bills, out of these two, what do you think is the best option for him? Is it laser, inkjet, or dot matrix? Yes. Out of the three, the best option for him is going to be the dot matrix printer. Now, if you compare these three printers, if you forget about the grocery owner and you have only these three printers, if you compare only these three printers, yes, laser printer is the best. But even though laser printer is best, it's expensive, it is having a very good quality, and that is not needed for grocery owner. Unwanted. Paper cost is high, printing cost is high, maintenance is high. For a grocery owner, he wants just to bring a bill for temporary purpose, and that's going to be anyways thrown by the customers after a couple of days as well. So for the grocery owner has to see a very cost effective and best solution for him. So for the grocery owner, out of the three printers, the best one is going to be the dot matrix printer. The main reason is because it's cost effective, which means out of the three, it is the cheapest in price. Second thing, the printing cost is also less. That means the amount of money he has to spend to print a specific bill is less in the dot matrix printer. Okay, so the main reason he'll go for the dot matrix printer is because it's cost effective for him, not because of the quality. Because when you're focusing on bills, do you focus on the should we focus on giving the like highest quality bills? No. He just has to make sure that he gives a normal bill which is visible. It is in a minimal quality. Because normally, if you have gone to some supermarkets, you might know if you keep the bill with you after a couple of days, even the bills sometimes the letters in it get vanish because bills are just used for temporary purpose. You don't keep bills like what do you call or imagine you have a warranty card. Like warranty card, do you keep bills in your house collecting? Imagine you bought something, you have warranty card. Just like how you keep warranty card, do you keep bills? No. Maximum you might keep it for let's say weeks or months, but after that you throw. So the most suitable option for the grocery owner is dot matrix printer. Now in this class, there are some other participant people. They are like, sir, if I write thermal printer, is it correct? Actually, compare dot matrix printer, thermal printer is more cheap. Logically, all of you answer me. Can we tell thermal printer is the correct answer for this question? Is it enough if we just write cost effective because they are asking to explain? You have to explain how is it cost effective. Cost effective is a keyword. Your explanation should have word. I'm giving you the keyword. I'll give you the explanation. Wait. No. Always, when answering questions, answer whatever they ask. Don't be too much arpadichi and answer the question. Have they mentioned the choice of thermal printer? No. They are given laser, inkjet, and dot matrix. You're given to choose one out of them. If you try to be over smart, sometimes that is a problem for you. Okay. So here the answer is going to be dot matrix printer. Explaining how you can explain is you can tell out of the three printers, dot matrix printer is the most cost effective printer. It is cheaper in the price of the printer is cheap as well as the printing cost per paper or the printing cost per page is also cheap. So as a grocery owner probably would be using the printer to print bills, the most suitable option for him would be the dot matrix printer. You can write these in a explanatory format. Okay. However you explain your answer should have this word called cost effective to get the marks or any other synonyms. Is that clear, all of you? What is the difference between dot matrix and inkjet printer? Dot matrix has a what do you call it, like a pin kind of structure that touches the ink. We call it ink ribbon. It touches the ink and it taps on the paper. Imagine you have seen seal, right? You know what is seal? People put seal. What is called seal in ink? Achugano. If you take seal, you first of all we will tap the seal on the ink pad, and then we'll place the paper, right? Similarly, dot matrix windows, like it has that kind of a process. There is a part you knock on the ink and touch the paper, not on the ink and touch the. In inkjet printer, you have like ink inside it. It like spray. So the normal printers you might find in houses, in small offices, those all are the inkjet printers, the normal printers you have. So that is giving a better quality. But even though it gives a better quality, in terms of what you called, in terms of price and cost for printing a page, it's very high. Another thing, keep in mind, a while ago I told you laser printer is the best out of the three. Laser printer is best in quality for black and white. Normally, we don't use laser printer for colored printing. Huh? For colored printing, best is inkjet. Keep that in your mind. So the time taken in dot matrix is high. Yes. High meaning not a very big difference. Few seconds different, milliseconds different. And it depends on the brand. Inkjet printers, if you take, there are certain brands, print will come like this. And there are certain brands come teet. So it depends on the brand, but overall there's just 40 seconds or milliseconds different, not a big difference. Right. Next. So answer A is going to be dot matrix. So if you have mentioned the answer called dot matrix, that the most suitable one is dot matrix. Okay. If you had mentioned that, you get 1 mark. And if you had mentioned an explanation, in the explanation, if you have talked about cost effective, another 1 more mark. What about the plotter? Plotter is like a larger version of a printer. It's like an inkjet printer, which is very huge. It's mainly used to print the housing plans, all those stuffs, like architectural designs. Okay. So if your answer you have mentioned dot matrix, you get 1 mark. In your explanation, if you had mentioned cost effective or cheap, printing cost is cheap, or the printer's cost is cheap, either one of them if you have mentioned, for the explanation 1 mark, for dot matrix printer 1 mark. Next. Name 2 utility programs in a computer. Okay, give me your answers. Let's see. There are several utility programs we have. Disk defragmentation correct, screensaver correct, backup software is correct, disk scanners correct, clipboard correct, antivirus correct, disk partition correct, defragmentation correct. Yes. For that, you can mention any of these answers. Let me just show you all the possible answers. There are more out of the list I'm going to show you all, but your syllabus, what is there, I'll show you all here. These are the utility softwares you have in your computer. So if you had mentioned any of them, you'll be getting the marks. Okay. So if you had mentioned any of them, they're asking two, right? So two can 1 mark each. Huh? So if your answer has any of these, put 1 mark each. So if you had mentioned like backup software disk scanner, then 1 mark, 1 mark. Or it's clipboard and backup scanner, 1 mark, 1 mark. Anyone have any questions there? Again, that is a question related to the grade 10 lesson number 5. A quick question for all of you. Is utility software a system software or application software? The utility programs, are they system softwares or application softwares? Yes. Utility programs are mostly system softwares. So I'm going to just mention 2 examples here. For example, let's say clipboard, and let's say screensaver, easy. So if you had mentioned 2 answers out of the list I gave you, you get 1 mark each, total 2. Okay, tell me out of 10 marks, how many marks are got now in the chat? 10 marks. I mean, can't do, there's only 5 questions. Every question carries 2 marks. Okay, nice. Let's go for the next set of questions. Again, if you have any questions, drop in the chat. Huh? Okay, I'll give you a 10 minutes. Quickly do these 5 questions. Let me put the timer for 10 minutes. I'll do 7:30. You'll have 10 minutes. Quickly do this. I'll not be giving a separate time to pray because Mari Bang said class started. So if you did not pray, you can pray once you're done with the question. Or vice versa. Others, if you have any other questions, you can drop them in the chat as well. Adil, I just now answered that. What about malware? No, malware is not a utility software. Antivirus software is only a utility software. Malware is a harmful software. How can you expect a what do you call computer to be having harmful software as a compulsory software? If you don't mind, can I know what stream you did in your errors? Why, man? Why? My stream is called Other Stream. Maths, Physics, IT. You don't have a stream for that. Yes, yeah, yeah. What is it, Jazra? Why, Jazra? Why? Can we select any 3 subjects we want in A levels? Yes, you can. If you select any random subjects, then you come under the stream called Other Stream. But if you select specific subjects, then you get like if you select biochem physics, then you come on a science stream. Maths, physics, chemistry, you come on a math stream. So like 2 commerce subjects and any other subjects, then commerce stream. Likewise, it varies. Your A level marks in A levels they don't give marks, and I did not complete the A levels. I stopped in half. I directly started the degree. Can you skip A level into HT? Yes, you can. That is what I did, but I will not recommend you all to do that. I didn't skip. I did half. It was boring. So I stopped and I directly started the degree. Anyways, focus on this question. You all have 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Let me put all of your hands down. Those are done. Raise your hands up. There are some prerequisites, Azil. Adil, if you are eligible, yes. Yes, or no.
Yes, Riyadh, possible. Umar, is that Danish question? Until at last. Yes, Zain. Now only you have seen the 17th March news. It came long time back. I thought it's fake. Still, I feel like it's fake. Let's see. Will our owners be on March of it? I don't know. Yes, Samna. We learned this yesterday. Correct. Those are the two subjects, Sarah. Apart from those two, science. No, Vikas. No, no. I have 2.5 minutes remaining. Those who are done, raise your hands up in Zoom. Unwanted data over. Yes, Sarah. SDLC model means like deployments. No. SDLC models are the different approaches you have when you're following the phases or following the steps. I actually jabbered about it yesterday in yesterday's class. Like 1 hour or half an hour, we're talking about that. Even both of them have their problems. Car wash, exactly. If you know about the car wash example or as plate example, then you will know about STLC models. One and a half Zikra.
20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up, and let's start the discussion. Whatever is comfortable for you, use Oscar. Okay, let's start. Home Science Society of Sisisu Vidyalaya sells milk toffees to the students at the school canteen. The society hopes to sell milk toffees using a web-based system. Okay, currently, I don't think they have a system because they are not mentioned as such, and they are planning to use a web-based system, it seems. Name the first two steps that should be carried out when preparing the above system. Normally, where's Roman number one? I don't know. Okay. Normally, whenever you're building a system, there are 6 steps you have to follow. First of all, identify the requirements for that system. Then once you know all the requirements that are needed that should be present in a system, now you start designing the solution. Okay. So basically, when I'm saying requirements, I'm talking about problems. We'll identify all the problems. Okay. So requirements is problems. So once you find a problem, you should be able to figure out that solution. So in the second stage only, we figure out all the solutions and we create the respective designs. Once you're done with designing the solution, now we go for the next phase. So these are called phases, right? Like stages, something like that. The next phase is called the execution of the solution. Execution means coding. Execution means basically coding the solution or else developing the solution. Once you're done coding the solution, next what you do is you test and see are there any errors. Okay. So that phase we call as testing and debugging. And once there is no any errors in your system, you start publishing your system. So the process of publishing a system, we call it as deployment. And after you publish, sometimes you might come across errors and all those stuffs. So rectifying them is what we do mainly in the maintenance stage. Or put updates we do in the maintenance stage. Okay. So first question they have mentioned, name the first 2 steps that should be carried out when preparing the above web system. So then what about observation? Is it correct? No. If you want to identify the requirements, okay, if you want to identify the requirements, there are different methods. For example, you can observe their current system. If they have a current system, you can observe that and you can identify the requirements, or observe the current processes and identify the requirements. Or you can give them questions. We call them as questionnaires and identify their problems. You can have interviews with them and identify the problems. Those all are basically methods to identify problems. Now, in this question, are they asking methods to identify problems? No. They are asking you, name the 2 steps that should be carried out when preparing the above system. So the first 2 steps are going to be, you can have the answer here. The first step is going to be identifying requirements, identifying the requirements. You can elaborate and write identifying the requirements for the web-based system, or identify requirements for this web-based system. You can write in a more elaborative manner. And second step you can write is designing the solution for the problems identified during the first phase. These are all called phases. PHASES. These are called phases of SDLC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So first question answers these 2. Identifying requirements, you can get 1 mark. Design and solution, 1 mark. Is that clear, all of you? Got it? Right. If you have any questions, drop in the chat, okay? Name 2 data collection methods that can be used here. This is where your question comes. Data collection methods. Data collection method means collecting data from the customer or our client. The main purpose of collecting data is what? To identify what? If I'm going to collect some data from the customer, my client, before I start building my application, what is the main purpose of the data collection? To do what? To identify what? Some of your answers are correct, some of your answers are wrong. The main purpose of data collection is to identify the requirements, because without knowing requirements is problems, without knowing his exact problem, what is the issue he has, what is the requirement he has, without knowing that, you can't create a solution for him. So the main purpose of data collection is to identify his requirements. So some of the ways you can do it is, fun fact, can we use observation? You can use, but not suitable. Okay, I'll just mention that you can. But your phrase should be very correct. If you just mention observation, it's not very suitable. You can mention observing the current processes. Observing the current processes in the canteen. By observing the current process, you can understand their requirements or their problems they might face or the requirements they have. Next, you can interview them. Interviewing the students and those who are handling the sale of milk toffees. Okay. Again, the keywords are observing here. The keyword is interviewing here. Okay. We always interview the people who's going to use the solution. So here our client is basically the society, home society. No? So mostly in society you have students. So you're going to interview the students. Next thing is you can give them a questionnaire. Next thing is sample document collection. These are not suitable answer, but sample document collection means, for example, let's say if he wants an invoicing system, you can go and collect his current invoices, like currently how he maintains bill. He might have a bill book. No, you can just take his current bill book and see how does he normally generate bills, how written currently. So like this, you can go and collect those sample documents. Apart from that, he can also show a prototype and identify those requirements. Okay, but prototype is not suitable here. But you can say questionnaires are suitable. Sample document collection is also suitable. Again, you can give marks for all of them, but I will not prefer prototypes here. Instead of using identifying requirements, can be used as analysis. Nope. Right. So your answer should be observing, interviewing, questionnaire, sample document collection, and prototyping. Out of them, if you have mentioned 2 answers, you get 2 marks. Only writing observation, is it correct? Yeah, only that's it. These are the keywords which are highlighted are the keywords. So if you mention only this also, you get the marks. But it's better if you can elaborate. What is prototyping? It's like I'll show you a similar system and identify your requirements. Imagine I want to create a website, LMS. So let's say you are the client and you want LMS. And so I want these features. What I might do is I might show you the master ID website and be like, okay, do you want something like this? Then you'll be like, yeah, I want like this, do this change, something like that. That is what prototyping is. I'll use a dummy version and identify your requirements. Something like that. Got it? Yeah, so 2 marks there. Next, Roman number 4. What is the most suitable SDLC model to be used to develop the web system? Justify your answer. Okay. First of all, tell me, what are the 2 SDLC models we have?
What are the two SDLC models we have? Correct. One of the models we have is a model called as waterfall model. And the other model we have is something called as the iterative incremental model. Right? This question, I mentioned both the answers. If you mention waterfall model also correct, iterative incremental model also correct. But your marks is given based on your explanation, because they have mentioned here what is a suitable model, justify your. So if we just mention waterfall model, no marks. Just mention iterative incremental model, no marks. But if you justify why waterfall model is suitable, then you get the marks. If you justify why iterative incremental model is correct, you get the marks. So let me tell you all the advantages we have. Normally, if you take the two models, the main difference we have is in waterfall model, you have the 6 phases now. Can we use both? What Shastra is recording? You're joining my class now. What Shastra is recording? Then you will not even ask me that question. Okay, so it sounds for you. Anyways, when you know what you called using the waterfall model, what we do is we follow the phase by phase approach. What I mean by phase by phase approach is you complete one phase completely, then you go for the next phase. You complete the next phase completely, and you go for the next phase. Likewise, you complete one phase completely before you go for the next phase. In iterative income model, we don't go phase by phase. Instead, we go requirement by requirement. Meaning, let's say you're going to create WhatsApp, which has chat feature, call feature, and status feature. You might first of all take chat, identify the requirements for chat, design how the chat should look like, and you start coding the chat. And likewise, only the chat you'll be focusing. Once you're done with the chat, now you will start identify the requirements for the calling section, design the calling section, code the calling section. Testingly, you might do for the calling section. Once you're done with the calling section, next you might go for the next requirements called status, identify the status part, then requirements for the status part, design how the status should look like, and then code the status section. Okay, you might focus there. So in iterative increment model, we normally follow the requirement by requirement approach. So if you want to tell that, if you're going to tell that waterfall model, then for waterfall model, you can mention the advantage. Can see a completed system. Can see a fully completed system at once. Okay. And for iterative increment model, the advantage you can say is can see at least a part of the system quickly. Now, if you take waterfall model, we'll make sure that I said that if I take WhatsApp example, if I have chats, calls, and status, all three sections, I'll identify the requirements. Once I know all three parts requirement, I might design the all three parts. So technically, if you see the difference, normally if you take both of them, the overall time taken to complete the project might be the same. But if you take iterative increment model, because we're going section by section, first of all, we'll be able to see at least only the chat. Then we'll be able to see chat plus calls. Then we'll be able to see the full application. So at least a part of the application can be seen quickly. We don't have to wait till the whole application is ready. But waterfall model, until the whole application is ready, we don't publish it. So this is the main advantage we can tell when you're using waterfall model. And this is the main advantage we can tell when we're using the iterative incremental model. Is that clear all of you? So if you mention the answer as waterfall model, then your answer should also, the reason you have to mention is, so we can see a fully completed system at once. Okay, this is the main answer you can give. If your answer is talking about iterative increment model, then you can say, we can see at least a part of the system quickly or earlier. Is there anyone of you all wrote any other justifications? If you all wrote any other justifications, drop in the chat. I'll see is it correct or wrong. Then waterfall model is riskier.
Actually, no. It depends on your perspective of what you mean by risk. But technically, the iterative model has less risk. But to see it completed, we have to wait until it's completely coded, right? No. Spiral model is not there in our syllabus. Who is teaching us spiral model? Yesterday, someone asked about spiral model. You don't even you learn about spiral model when you go, even in A-levels you don't learn about that. Only in degree you learn about that. That also in the first. That's you don't even bother about that. There is something called I'm not going to talk about that. Those are the dead models. There is something called agile. Currently we use agile. Again, they are no syllabus. Agile is almost like iterative increment model. Okay, nice. Since alterations can be done in a repetitive way, can fulfill the customer satisfaction. Um, Correct, but not suitable. Yeah, you can give marks because iterative increment model is done requirement by requirement, and the output can be seen quickly. Sorry, your answer is correct. It's at a small modification and can see at least the part of the output. Without just mentioning, can see the output, can see at least the part of the full system. More than output, at least a part of the full system you mentioned. If it is wrong in the middle in waterfall model, we want to start from the beginning. No, not like that. When your textbook and teachers don't know what is waterfall model, that's why they jabber. It's not actually. It's not like that. There is a different perspective. No, Hannah, it's not the NS syllabus. In waterfall model, whole system can be completed comparatively with less iterations to agile model. First of all, agile is not there in your syllabus, and your answer is completely taken from Google or ChatGPT is very visible. So don't copy from the internet. But to see waterfall model completely, we have to wait until it's completely coded, right? Yeah, that's what I mentioned here. Can see a completed system at once. The question is not asking the disadvantage. The question is asking the advantage. Behind every ugly, there is a beauty as well. So I have mentioned the beauty behind ugly here. By your English can change something good into something very bad. See, something bad into very good. So I have portrayed a bad quality as a good quality here. If you know how to play with your English, you can easily get marks. See, actually, if you're seeing the full system at once, both of us had the same point, but the way I phrase it looks like advantage, the way you phrase it looks like a disadvantage. Your phrasing plays a big role. Can you explain a little bit how both waterfall model and iterative differ from each other? I'll do one thing. Yesterday, for half an hour, I was explaining the difference between those two models. I'll give you all the recording. It's actually a paid class. I don't like to give paid class recording for others, but I want to save time. So those who really want to know the difference, watch the last half an hour of this recording. I'll just drop in the chat. I'll not be chatting anywhere else. Just save the link and keep video after class to watch. Last half an hour, I jabbered about the Bolt model. It's a deep detailing about STS lesson is there. For half an hour in the middle of the recording, you can find the half an hour explanation of STS lesson. The last 1 hour, I talked about both the models in detail. I gave like a solid example as well. I don't want to repeat that because I just did that yesterday. Anyways, wait, let me drop in the chat. Okay. Yes, Yusra. Amal Bimal's Chamal's car washing process. Exactly. I even have the sheet for that. Where is it? If I go for my sheets, it should be there, that example. If you all were there yesterday, you can remember this. You might be able to relate to this. What do you call the sheet? How the waterfall model works and how the iterative model works. Okay. If you really want to know this, watch the recordings last half an hour. It's a time waste to tell the whole thing now because I repeated that yesterday only. Anyways, yeah. So if you had mentioned about waterfall model and its example both, then you get 2 marks. Or else if you had mentioned iterative increment model and the justification both, then 2 marks. If you mention just the name of the model, no marks. Okay, you make sure you mention the name of the model as well as you mention a proper justification. That is correct. Next, any other questions anyone has there? If you have any questions, drop in the chat. Huh? Name 2 advantages the members of the home science society would have after building the web system. Okay. Now, in this question, what they are asking is mainly the advantage of a computer-based system compared to a manual system. Now, when you take a manual system and computer-based system, one of the advantage you can mention is they can have a high accuracy of their response, then high efficiency. Okay. What are other advantage we have in a computer-based system? You can mention can generate reports. Requires less physical space to store data. Easy to update data. Then you can mention, okay, all of the advantage of is correct. High security, can secure using passwords. Can secure the system using passwords. If you mention high security also is correct. Okay. Time saving, correct. That's what you call efficiency. Efficiency means time saving. Easy payment methods. Can we write this? Modify your answers. Can integrate card payment methods, because your idea should be that you can integrate actually manual system also. You can, because card payment is a different system. It's a separate unit. It's not connected to the system. So it's not a very suitable answer, but anyways, you can modify your answer and make it correct. Less man work is needed. Yes, you can mention that as less, comparatively less. We don't call it as man work. We call it as human labor. What is the last word and last point? Password. Can secure the system using password. Okay. So if you have mentioned any of these answers, how many options they're asking from you? 2 advantage. So for each advantage, put 1 mark, total 2 marks. So tell me, out of 2, 4, 6, 8, out of 8 marks, how many marks you all get? Nice. Anyone having any doubts, or how did you get 10 marks when the whole question is 8 marks itself? But keeping that thing aside, anyone having any other questions or want to clarify regarding whatever is there in this section? Out of what is given, have any clarifications, anyone? Okay, fine. Next, let's do this question together. Okay. I didn't join yesterday's class. Can you show the question once again? Wait. Then watch the recording. I'm done. Okay, nice, perfect. Right, let's do this question together. Computers are used in Many fields, I shall answer and evaluate. Computers are used in many fields to perform many tasks. Name two different methods used to input personal data about students and their attendance in school. Computers are used to perform many tasks. Name two different methods used to input personal data about students and their attendance in a school. Okay. Normally, if you're going to what you called store data in a computer, let's say you're going to store it inside a application that has multiple grids. Okay, and you can put a column here called name, a column called grade, and you can start entering your data. What do you call these type of applications as? Application. It has grids kind of structure with columns and rows where you can store data, you can enter data. If I tell you the name of this grid, you will get the answer. I don't want to tell the name before that, find the answer. Okay, I'll give the hint to you. Where these grids are called cells. Yes. So one of the method they can find to store this data is they can create a spreadsheet. They can create a spreadsheet, and on the spreadsheet they can maintain details about the students' details and attendance details. They can mention using a spreadsheet. Apart from spreadsheet, now spreadsheet is very comparatively, even though spreadsheet is a bit organized. Spreadsheet, if you take spreadsheet, you have limitations in forming relations. Not that you can't, you can, but there are limitations in forming relations. What I mean by that is, let's say I have a spreadsheet like this, okay, and let's say in this page I have all the details about students, and in this sheet, let's say I have all the details about attendance. So let's say this sheet has all the details about attendance, and this sheet has all the details about students' details. Now in spreadsheet, there are limitations when forming the connection between this sheet and this sheet. These are two different sheets. When I form connections, there are limitations. Not that you can't, you can, but it's not very easy. There's an alternative application that is mainly the main purpose of this application itself is to store data. That will store data in a very organized manner, and you can even retrieve those data, all those stuffs. What do you call those type of application as? The main purpose of this application itself is to store data, and you can create tables in that application. You can extract data from those tables. You can enter data. You can form connections. Yes, they are called database. Okay. So when you're writing answer for this question, without just mentioning spreadsheet database, you can write a more elaborative answer. You can mention like the school can use a database application and create tables for students and a different table for attendance and store their data respectively. Okay, you can mention answer. Other answer, no, they're asking two methods. No, actually, database is the most suitable because they asked two methods only. I gave you spreadsheet as well. Is the most suitable method. Second option is spreadsheet. Then other answer you can mention is using of spreadsheet. So you can mention they can use a spreadsheet and they can maintain a separate sheet for all the students' details, a separate sheet for the attendance, and maintain and store their personal data in a computer. Till you can write an answer. Again, the keywords are going to be mentioning spreadsheet and mentioning the word database. Is that clear, all of you? Got it? Okay, fine. Next, suggest two advantage of using computers for harvesting crops. When they're in computers, they're not literally talking about the big computers which you see in offices. They're talking here about digital device. Now, even your phone, laptop, even the the smart TVs, all them are called digital devices. Okay, like they all are like a computer, they can work. Now, tell me, if you take harvesting crops, we have different devices now which uses computing. For example, we have this uh, automatic seed remover, automatic weed remover. So, automatic weed remover. Then we have this what do you call this pest control systems like pest. We have these different automatic watering system. These are some of the things we have which uses computer in it, right? So when you're saying two advantages of using computers, for that you can use those examples and elaborate your answer. Like for example, you can mention we can use
automatic pest control system, and protect our crops from harmful pests. Next, you can mention, let's say, you can talk about the automatic watering system. I just mention the points and you can elaborate them. Then seed planting using robot. Then you can mention, let's say, automatic weed remover, automatic watering system, seed planting using a robot, and then field conditions identification device. You can using this, you can identify the soil, and based on that, you can one thing you can automate a what you call watering system, or you can figure out any data analysis. Anything can be done. Apart from field devices, again we can measure the temperature, the humidity of the air, all those stuffs from these devices as well. Okay, so Hamd, you can click on it and you can copy it from the browser. Anyways, okay, so you can use any of these devices. There are more devices, I mentioned few here. Using any of these devices, you can form a sentence, a point, and you can elaborate it, how this can be useful for agriculture, how this can be useful for agriculture. You can use these points and explain your answer. Now, this is a question related to your which lesson? This is a question connected to your which lesson? Yes, grade 10, first lesson, right? So in the first lesson, there are different what methods we follow. We learned of where we can use computer or ICT in agriculture. So using one of those, using two of the examples, you can mention an elaborative answer. Is that clear, all of you? Got it? Okay. So as we have passed 7th, I'm going to stop from there. The remaining questions all we're going to do next week in next week's class. If you have any questions, you can stay and ask. Others, if you are clear, you can leave. Anyone having any questions? You can ask it now. You want to know what about direct deployment? Imagine you have a phone you're using currently. You have now a button phone. You cried at your house and you made your parents know buy you a smartphone. Okay. If you're going to completely stop using your button phone and start using your smartphone, a complete shift. Throw your old phone and start using a new phone. This is how direct deployment works. You might have a system already in your, let's say, company. What you might do is you might stop using your old system and start using a new system. That's how the direct deployment works. And on the other hand side, if you take parallel deployment, this is like when you get the new phone and old phone, you're going to use the button phone as well as smartphone. You're going to use both together, right? So in parallel deployment, you'll again have both the phones and both the old software as well as new software. You might be mainly using the new device, but let's say you come across any issues, then quickly you might revert back to your old phone. So you'll have both with you. Got the idea? The difference between direct deployment and parallel deployment. So in a company, if they're going to stop using the old software and directly start using new software, it's going to be direct deployment. If you have both, it's parallel deployment. What about the other three? I'll be discussing the next week. Right. Anyone having any other questions?
Yesterday also we did the same thing. Exactly. That's why I asked her when you joined the It's just the same thing repeating. That's why I share the recording. I'm lazy to tell the whole thing again. It'll take around 1 hour unwantedly. Anyone else have any other questions? Ima, drop your WhatsApp message today. I'll reply. Okay. So as there's no other questions, I'm going to end the meeting. Again, if there's anything, WhatsApp me and keep. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm going to end the meeting. Have a nice day. What is it? What is malfunctioning? Malfunctioning means like stopping work. It's like it's not working. Now functioning means it's working. Malfunctioning means not working. In malicious software, dangerous softwares, harmful softwares. So dangerous, these are all synonyms: dangerous, malicious, harmful. We will have the discussion for the 2022 pilot paper as well. Let me check. I can remember like I put it in YouTube and kept. If they ask the definition of what? Malfunction. They will not ask the definition for malfunction because that's a normal general word. But if they ask, you can mention malfunction means stop working. Malfunction means it depends on the question. Your question is not enough of data. I need more data. Like there, if you give a scenario, you have to relate to the scenario and ask. The word malfunction means not working, not functioning, not being able to do its respective task. So depending on the plot, your answer might vary. Abhi, I have the OLL 23 one. This is I think last year's. Yeah. Before that year, no. I have only the OLL 23. 22 I had somewhere. I don't know where is it. Okay. It should be there. It's OLL 22 means long time back. It should be there. My old hard disk. I don't know where the hell is that hard disk here. I don't know. I should have it here as well. I can't remember downloading it. It should be there in my drive at least. Let's see that. Pilot. No? 23. 23. I had the paper, pilot papers part. Did I send you the pilot paper? I sent the other number, right? The 2022 paper. I can remember forward it now. Okay, I'll send you this. No, I don't think I have the recording. We filter the data. No, I don't have it. I can remember I forwarded the marking scheme only because that was there in that academic only has it. I can remember I sent it for Shakir. So that's why I think I forward what I sent for Shakir to you. That should have been the marking scheme. That is not there, then Let me just check in my laptop. Where do I have it? Backup. Pilot. I normally am very bad at saving files. I use some kacha names. Let's see if I find Order 23 pilot paper 2. 22 again, Nanny. No, I don't think I have. Okay, Nabi. Again, if I got the acronym, I'll just check. Remind me on Thursday. Anything else, anyone? Okay, I'm going in the meeting. If there's anything, just drop me WhatsApp message. I'll clarify all that.